쓸 수도 있어요.
Ready? You ready? Okay, let's go ahead and get started. It's my pleasure to introduce our speaker for today, Professor Chongko Choi, who is the director of the Center for Korean Law at Seoul National University and also president of the Korean Society of Legal History. Professor Choi received his JD degree from Freiburg University and an LLM degree and Bachelor of Arts degrees from Seoul National University. Professor Choi has published over 20 books, including recently this very beautiful book, Law and Justice in Korea, as well as over 100 articles in a variety of academic journals in areas relating to jurisprudence and the legal history of East Asia. We're very privileged to have Professor Choi with us this semester teaching comparative jurisprudence class, and his talk today is entitled Images of Law and Justice in East and West, Comparative Legal Symbolics. Professor Choi.
Thank you, Professor Bradley, for your generous, kind introduction of me. Today, I feel especially happy to able to finalize my stay at Duke. This is virtually my last day here. I'll speak on law and art in the name of legal symbolics or legal aesthetics, East and the West. Frankly speaking, this is just my hobby research, but seriously speaking, I believe this is an important part of East Asian jurisprudence, which I am now trying to build up a theory of East Asian jurisprudence. Law and art has two ways for consideration. One is law on art, that is called art law. I am not sure here your Duke Law School has a course on this art law, but I hope so. Today, my topic is not that one, law in art. Through visual art. You understand that our goal of lawyers are usually justice, but I believe justice is related with the beauty also, especially from the point of East Asian jurisprudence. So many people say East Asians are talented in emotion and the sense of beauty. So I have tried to build up such a theory or philosophy. So due to the time limit, I'll show the contents. This is actually my book's cover page, Law and Art, published 12 years ago in Korea. I'll say in this order. If I introduce some pioneers in this field, first, Professor Hans Fehr at Heidelberg University in Germany. He wrote a wonderful book there, Kunst im Recht. Bild im Recht, pictures in law. Actually, Professor Radbruch is my mentor. I translated his major book, Rechtsphilosophie, into Korean, and his autobiography, Der innere Weg, also. If I say one episode of him, why he did pay a great interest on art is because his daughter studied art history, and she died unfortunately by the climbing of Alps. So he succeeded her dissertation and published as a co-author. So Anyway, in his major book, Lex Philosophy, one chapter is legal aesthetics, aesthetics of law. Yeah. And this picture was taken by myself, by me, at the meeting at the Freiburg University when I studied there. Professor Württemberger, a great specialist on Albrecht Dürer, the German painter. And his house looks just like a museum because his grandfather was a painter. And great Wigmore from America. So he was actually a marvelous scholar at the Northwestern Law School. He taught once in Japan at the Keio University. And he authored a great book on the tradition, Japanese tradition of reconciliation, mediation in Japanese legal history. However, he published also a wonderful, beautiful book, Panorama of World Legal Systems, probably you know, including many great art pieces. And one, do you have my book? Over there. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. He published also a book called Kaleidoscope of Justice, published in 1928. You see here, kaleidoscope. Okay, thanks. Yeah. I don't understand fully how his imagination was so. However, from this basic form of justice, African model, Asian model, European model, so it's geniusly he invented. So I cited my book, please. What role did art play to law? I would like to point just one example from Germany, Sachsenspiegel, famous legal code of 13th century. You see here, this is not paper, but how do you say that? Sheep skin, written by a German knight called Eike von Lepgow. And he wrote the contents of the law in here and drew the contents in painting. So to let the common people also understand, even though they did not read the legal text, how wonderful it is. It is a national treasure of Germany. There are two copies, one at Heidelberg University. I saw the original with great difficulty because the national university is, yeah. And we go back to the mythological origin. The ancient Egyptians believed goddess of justice like that, called Maat. And biblical theme, Judith, a patriotic lady, went to the camp of enemy and cut the head of the chief with a sword. It looks just a little like Justitia or Tige. And that might be probably the typical model of Justitia. It is standing in front of the city hall in Frankfurt am Main with the scale and the sword. But you see, no blindfold. Originally, Justitia had no blindfold. Professor Christie taught me this time kindly. I asked why no blind. Because originally Justitia had power of prophecy. So just after that, at the 14th or 15th century, blindfold appears first through the paintings of Albrecht Dürer, I mentioned. But when I visited last October Frankfurt again, somebody destroyed this sword, vandalism. It's a pity. So I hope soon will be recovered. This is a beautiful statue of Justitia in Heidelberg, on the old bridge of Neckar River. So I myself took this picture, and very fitting to the landscape there. Raphael drew Justitia in the Sistine Chapel of Vatican, also like a elegant lady, without blindfold, so you see. If you visit the Siena in Toscana, at the wall of the city hall, Lorenzetti painted Justitia, receiving from God this big sword and the scale and governs the government. So every day the officials of the city looked at this justice painting. And Giotto, the famous Italian painter, depicted Justitia as an elegant lady, while Injustice is tyrant male. It's a really interesting contrast. Yeah. But Dürer, again, depicted Justitia as male on the lion. Mighty, male. So worldly famous the Moses by Michelangelo. It is. Do you know where is it located? In Rome, not at Vatican. It's just a little small cathedral near Colosseum. So important thing is this figure is not purely human body. It is a mixture of humanity and how to say bestiality, the animal mixture. So double dynamic. And you see over his head is 2 horns. That is important. Why? A human body has 2 horns. At that time, they said when Moses received the 10 Commandments in the Sinai mountain, Moses had the 2 horns. The Bible said so. But nowadays, not so translated. His face has 2 lights. How such changes happened, I don't know. But anyway, you will see what meaning has the horn, especially in East Asia, has. Oh, this is most important figure in the United States at the building of Supreme Court. You see a baby on her head and so. Then we go to East Asia. Then what is the East Asian tradition of law and art? Frankly speaking, we have no much paintings on justice, symbols, but we have a so-called letter painting. This is first, that is justice or righteousness. Quite complicated letter. But as you know, Chinese character is originally the symbol. It is just the imitation of object. For example, that is 1, 2, 3, and this is 3, and so. Or anyway, this is composed of 2 parts. This is sheep or goat. And this is me or mine. Yes. So if sheep is mine, that's just. You remember the famous phrase sum quick tribuere, to distribute his own according to the. If ship is mine, that's just. And this one is a very important concept in East Asian jurisprudence. It's called in Chinese li, in Korean ye, with the same character. This part is showing, and above is some gathering over the harvest in the basket on the table. So that means showing our harvest to the heaven. That is the universal or the human duty or piety. Yeah. So Western scholars assert originally East Asian concept of law has no relationship with the religion, but I don't believe so. Originally, the concept of religion is different. Right? Anyway, these letters are usually decorated with some meanings. If we look into this in detail, so sophisticatedly decorated with the episodes or the legends. So that is letter painting. In Japan, at the Supreme Court building in Tokyo, there is at the lobby, not big one, smaller than the real size of human being. It's a statue of Justitia, but you see, quite different from the European images. Yeah? With the scale hanging over and the sword hanging over the scale, and look at the head with the crown, just a little like a bodhisattva, and slightly smiling, not stern, not stern. So Western scholars explained probably East Asian justice looks not only justice but also charity or love. So that is a very charming, attractive artwork. Yeah. And this is a Korean artwork erected in Seoul at the building of Korean Association of Bar, Korean Bar. But you see already some contrast. She has a sword not hanging, but on the earth. Yeah. If I somewhat exaggerate, samurai, Japanese culture is a samurai culture. Yeah. While Korean culture is a literati culture. So, frankly speaking, Koreans don't know how to use sword. If they hear about the sword, they only have fear. Anyway, but important thing is look at this her face impression. So a little in sorrow or so pitiful, so not so cheerful looks. So, regrettably, my society has many problems on justice and injustice, so full of the sorrow and the pity. I visited Hong Kong about 10 years ago, and I found there just at the seashore of Repulse Bay. And this animal was translated Jilin. Chinese are still confusing between Jilin and Shijai. I'll explain. Anyway, and behind that is translated into English as unicorn. This is unicorn. In Seoul, at the old palace of king, at the stair, this fabulous animal is sculptured like this with one horn. Why I say this unicorn is because the character for law in East Asia is so. we commonly use this word in 3 countries. Just we pronounce it differently. In Chinese, fa. In Japanese, ho. In Korean, pop. Only differently pronounced. And according to a research of an American philologist named Roy Miller, there was a old Altai word, piap, that was written very complicatedly. So this is the original letter for law. And nowadays, this part is disappeared. Anyway, pop, hyap, fap, fa, that is Chinese development. Pyap, fop, fo is Japanese development. Pyap, pop, Korean word. So according to him, Korean pronunciation is most similar to original pronunciation. Very interesting. Yeah. Anyway, in this letter, you see this a mystical animal with one horn. Why? In the old days, here, judge and 2 parts. And this animal was led to here at the trial. Then this animal goes always to the guilty person and butts him with one horn. This is already symbol of justice. So this symbol is contained even in the letter law. That is the reason why I interested on this legal symbolics. So you see the Korean symbol. In Korea, this animal is called hete. In Chinese, xiezai. And again, just at the middle of the Seoul city, we see every day, almost every day, this figure, stone figure, hete. But we can see here from below the one horn. But my friend, the photographer, professional photographer, looked from above, and really that existed, one horn. And if we go to Japan, this animal is called koma-inu. Probably Swami knows well. And you see, just distinct one single horn at the male koma-inu. Koma means Korea. Inu means dog, Korean dog. This is very symbolic. At the Buddhist and the Shinto temples, the koma-inu, the pair, stands. Even many pairs in big Buddhist temples or Shinto shrines. Yeah. And in Beijing, we see this quite different, very fierce image of. Can you differentiate whether it is the male or female?
It's a female.
Female? Why?
Because it has the nursing.
Yes, it's very important. You know, but she has a baby, while the male has a ball. So, if you visit Thailand, it modified, so quite different. The image quite different. If visit you Vietnam, it looks really good, total awesome. However, wherever the human beings exist, they have a longing for justice. So they try to make visualize such artwork. And if we go to Europe, it is called, seen as unicorn. This artwork located in the Collini Museum, just in front of the Sorbonne University entrance. Tapestry made in 15th Belgium. It is called the Lady and Unicorn. The unicorn gives a satisfaction of 5 senses of human being. So six masterpieces, all standing exhibition at this museum. I was really impressed by the beauty of this tapestry. And in America also, one thing at the New York, Manhattan, the Metropolitan Museum. Here is a Metropolitan Museum, but as a branch there is, at the northern part of Manhattan, there is a Cloisters Museum, my favorite museum. The Rockefeller bought many things from Europe, and so there is. You see here, this unicorn seems just like a symbol of Jesus Christ. The former was a aesthetic artwork, but this is very religious, theological. The Europeans beautified or glorified the unicorn even as Jesus Christ. Why? Jesus was so brave against all kinds of injustice, but very child in the arm of Mary Virgin. So even unicorn is arrested or hunted by hunter, not despairing, disappointed, just jumping to up in the resurrection, symbol of resurrection. Originally, unicorn concept or idea was introduced in ancient Greece. A physician named Cheshire wrote a book in Physicus, and there he explained unicorn cannot be caught by hunters, but unicorn is willingly to be caught when a virgin tames it, so, something like that. So if caught, all parts of a unicorn would be the panacea, the medicine for all disease. How does pronounce? Panacea, yeah, panacea. So if you visit Europe, there are many pharmacies called unicorn. In Germany, Einhorn. So as I said, unicorn is sometimes symbolized as a sex symbol, the satisfaction for a woman. Christophe Moreau was. And virginity or purity. Raphael's, here you see the small unicorn with a virgin. Stefan Rochner, a German painter, the art historians praise this artwork. This is perfect artwork. So the reason why I show you is if we look into in detail of her necklace, there is a unicorn with her son and the unicorn. And I'll show some justice symbols through punishment. So law is deeply related with punishment. Without punishment, no law. And this is Paul Rubens' Solomon's judgment. You know the biblical story on a baby, the quarrels between false mother and the true mother and King Solomon. Bring the sword and the cut. So the very witty judgment. And this is located in Brugge in Belgium. Original painting, a pear, is so big. When I visited there, I was really I trembled of the feeling. A judge received bribery. And the king found it and ordered the judge should be, his skin must be peeled. So you see, his skin is being peeled now. And let the skin on a chair, and his son must sit on the skin. How terrible it is. For several centuries, these pair of paintings were hanged on the courtroom. Every day, the judges should see there. So it is called in German Mahnbild, warning painting. So justice is not simple. And this is an old Greek masterpiece of the priest Laocoon was punished with his two sons by a big snake because he betrayed the secret of God or oracle. This, I said my mentor is Radbruch, and behind Radbruch there stands Goethe, German poet Goethe. I'm Goethe fan, and Goethe was fascinated by this artwork, and he wrote an article on Laocoon. And this is also German picture. In the earlier days, the trial was held under the Lindenbaum. What is the Ralph? What is the Lindenbaum? Is the German, the English name?
Well, it's typically German. I'm just trying to think.
Oh yeah, linden tree. Yeah. So anyway, trial was held there, and sometimes the execution also simultaneously. So Lindenbaum. In my country, quite interestingly, a wrongdoer or the crime doer must bring a gong on his shoulder, and then the officer let him shout, "I did such wrongdoing, I did such wrongdoing," so along the street. And this is the Austrian work by Gustav Klimt. The Vienna University law faculty requested an artwork for decoration officially, and he made this artwork. But the faculty refused to hang that on the wall, this artwork. Why? If you see in detail, just far above, there are three virtues: justice, truth, and beauty. Human being stands here in arrest or allured by some mysterious powers, so unfree. This sentiment is quite pessimistic or critical against on justice. Justice stands far on. So not hang. In the meanwhile, the war happened, and original artwork destroyed, disappeared. Only this picture in white and black exists nowadays. However, I think this is a great work. And American work, John Brown going to his hanging. John Brown over there in arrest. People are looking, but his mother don't see her, does not see him, and crying and in sorrow. And so there is a famous artwork of Ben Shahn. You know, everybody knows about the case of Sacco and Vanzetti. Sacco and Vanzetti were executed for the name of anarchism, Italian origin. But after that, after the execution, there was a special commission for re-investigate the truth. And the commission's president was Harvard president Eliot. Yeah, Eliot. So with the lily, what does lily symbolize? You know, this is a very significant artwork. Yeah. And we see many artworks on lawyers' portrait. Very, to my luck, I have seen around here at Duke also just outside is beautifully decorated with beautiful portraits of lawyers and sculpture or scale in the middle ground. And I saw the one important and interesting artwork of Honoré Daumier, the caricature in the law library here. This is Honoré Daumier served as a clerk at the lawyer's office in Paris. So he drew many caricatures to see the barrister and his client, so his mean smile before his client. And George Rouault also depicted the lawyer judge in contrast to Jesus Christ, so critical. And this also more critical and satirical against the lawyers of Ancien regime. Ancien regime. You see, Confucius. What was Confucius? He was Minister of Justice or the general prosecutor. Even though Confucianism is misunderstood as a contrast to legalism or rule of law, it's not true. If you visit the United States Supreme Court building in Washington, D.C., at the central mural, there is sculptured three major contributors to law in human history: Moses, Solon, and Confucius. It's amazing. Thomas More, Lord Chancellor. This is, of course, not a photo, but picture of Hans Holbein. Through this picture, his image is perpetuated as a good lawyer. As you know the life story of him. Even Napoleon is also glorified as a code maker, called Napoleon or the Code Civil. He himself confessed, as a soldier, I became nothing by the loss at the Waterloo War, but my code will live eternally. So, Francis Bacon also usually known as essayist or philosopher of English empiricism, something like that. But he was a Lord Chancellor, and so beautiful portrait. And everybody knows Langdale, the Langdale Hall at the Harvard Hall. It's a real size, big one. And, Holmes also, real size, big one. That is probably the beloved painting by American law students with the Lincoln picture. Norman Rockwell made quite good paintings on American people's way of life. So, And this is our first president of Korean Supreme Court, Kim, Chief Justice Kim, in Korean traditional costume. He looks like a stubborn or so, a little like a Confucian scholar, not as a law officer. And finally, I'll conclude with some remarks on last judgment. Why last judgment is included in this topic is we lawyers are always busy in this world with the secular matters, but frankly speaking, no final, no ultimate justice could be accomplished. Only after our death in the next world. So there are many artworks on Last Judgment. First, the Michelangelo's Last Judgment. But this work is a replica of by any other artist. However, we see the very dynamic gesture of Jesus as the ultimate judge and many biblical figures, and so dynamic masterpiece in Vatican. And that was used as my cover picture of my book, Rogier van der Weyden. You see here, Archangel Michael, just as a Justitia with the scale and the sword, the blessed and the damned, beautiful, symmetrical artwork. And if you visit Korea, this is a Buddhist temple, the under-earth court. Here, judges. If a man dies, he must be judged 10 times. You see here a mirror, glowing mirror, and an animal supports this mirror. What is this animal? I said already, this hete or shizai. So, symbol of justice through animal. Okay. And according to Buddhist philosophy, men are to be reincarnated in 6 ways, from snake, animals. So even among human beings, 4 stages. So, as I said, before the judge, human beings, the dead human beings must be led here, and then mirrored. All human deeds must be mirrored in this big mirror. And the evildoer must be punished eternally like that. And for example, if one does wrongdoing through tongue, so his tongue must be pulled out. And on the tongue, ox makes, how do you say, draw, so how painful it is. Anyway, the East Asian common people thought a sense of justice or injustice through such paintings. That is all what I prepared basically. And the conclusion, we have seen 2 great traditions in Western civilization, almost always symbolized through human figure, Justitia. I'll call it justice through personification. In East Asia, we saw many animals, and I'll call it justice through naturalization. Then we live in the age of globalization. Everything so becomes same. Then how would be the future symbol of the global justice? Should it be mixed or harmonized in any form, or should they go the self-direction further? I would like to give you a task of consideration. Probably if a Duke Law School would make some image of global justice, it would be great. I want to see the next time here. So that's all I wanted to say. I thank you for your attention. Yes, yeah, why not?
We can take a couple of questions.
But the slow pronunciation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hi, Professor, thank you. It's a pretty amazing presentation. And actually, I have a question because it's interesting. Actually, I was also writing in this subject like a couple of years ago, and I'm sorry. Yeah, because like I'm pretty interested in this because I was also writing on this topic like a couple of years ago, and one of my questions is when I was doing some kind of iconology stuff. Like my question is by what kind of methodology you use so as you can approach your your interpretation and your explanation of these kind of like arts and this kind of symbols, and what do they mean in specific culture settings, and what does it mean? What kind of how can you reach your conclusion that these kind of symbols and these kind of icons actually relates or reflect the people's social understanding of justice and law? Yeah, I'm pretty interested in your
very good
methodology.
answer. So you are already specialist. Very serious question. Frankly speaking, there is no fixed methodology, especially in the symbolics. Not the concept. The concept or the definition is very important in legal science in general, but in symbolics, it has no great meaning. The function or the meaning is more important. So my basic viewpoint is, as you see, the comparison, East and the West. So all with the background of the civilization and the history. However, there is no text still in legal symbolics or legal aesthetics. Just we have some volunteering or hobby research. I am a member of the European Association of Legal Iconography. So I visited there in Netherlands, Amsterdam. But there are also very variety. We enjoy full variety of method and approach. That is the merit of this. Don't be serious on methodology.
But actually, what I'm curious about, for such kind of study, mostly researchers were trying to convince or persuade other people that such kind of symbolics actually really means something, really stands for somebody's people, or in society, that people perceive, how people perceive law or how people understand law or injustice in this society. So what I'm curious is how can you convince other people that you successfully build up a connection between the symbolics and people's understanding? Why do you think that kind of the understanding that your interpretation really reflects people's understanding in that specific social historic settings?
Did you understand what I said?
Yes, I did.
Presented.
Yes, but I think
okay. I have no methodology.
No, but actually, sometimes I'm not quite convinced by your interpretation. So that's my problem.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
For a lot of.
I'm very happy to meet you. It's
Maybe we can take another one. Anybody else? Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Yes.
Do you have genders in Korean language?
Genders. Yes.
What gender do you use for the word law, and is it different from the gender of the word justice?
Oh yes, perfect question. As you know, the so-called feminism jurisprudence has been important in Western jurisprudence. So I taught 1 hour in feminist jurisprudence. But the basic view on female or male on gender is, as you know, quite different East and West. So I am trying to make East Asian jurisprudence. 1 chapter would be the East Asian feminist jurisprudence. So in detail, I have no time. So anyway, we have such a problem consciousness on feminism and the gender. For example, at my faculty, there is a lady professor for feminism and law, gender.
I
Yes.
think the question was, is law a feminine or masculine word, and justice a feminine or masculine word?
No distinction. No
Okay.
distinction. And it's no.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Really interesting presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.